Hello and howdy everyone. My name is Henry Chen. And today we'll be discussing honeybees population growth during warmer climates. Now first, what is a honeybee? Now, honeybees, that's its common name, but its scientific name is Apis mellifera. And the basic definition of a honeybee is a stinging insect that collects nectar and pollen. Now, you may be asking, why do we need to study honeybees? Well, honeybees are actually very important to our agriculture industries. Now, where can they be found? Well, they can be found in this figure primarily in Europe and Africa, but they can also be found pretty much worldwide, meaning that the climate they live in is not always consistent to their everyday location. Now, the research question states, is there a correlation between honeybee population growth during the summer weather? Now, to dive deeper into that question, you may be asking, what is summer weather? Well, summer weather is a vague definition, but it's defined by the months of June, July, and August. Now, what is population growth? Population growth is the increase of the numbers of honeybees, and the location will be primarily based in the United States of America. Now, we'll be looking into some articles. The first one is about honeybee survival in the summer, and it comprises of three factors. First being colony growth, second, foraging activities, and lastly, thermoregulatory. These three factors are taken into consideration of the size of the hive. As you can see in this in this figure, it shows hive weight over the course of a couple of months. And as you can see in June 13th to July 13th, the hive weight is at its highest, meaning that during this time, honeybee population is also at the highest. And this correlates to what they say about queen bees stop laying eggs after the months of July, because following that month, they stop laying eggs. And this shows that during summer, honeybees population is increasing or at its peak. The next we'll talk about is pathogens and diseases. Now, there are three main diseases and pathogens that this article talks about, and they're being bacteria, varroa mites, and protozoa. Now, you may be asking, when do honeybees typically get sick? Well, they get sick mainly early spring following a long and wet winter. And varroa mites are commonly found in the month of September. But in this study, it states that honeybees have a better physical health in the summer, meaning that they have stronger immune system, stronger mental health, and stronger colony health. And in this graph, you can see that it's a comparison between months and varroa mites, and the black bar represents controlled, and the dashed bar represents a protolith envelope. A protolith envelope is basically an external component of the bee's immune defense. And as you can see, varroa mites are quite high in the months of September and not so common in July and May. And you can see in this graph, it shows a broad population size. As you can see, the population size is quite high in May and July, but not so high in September because varroa mites are commonly found in the months of September. And this graph shows mites per 100 bees and these following months. And the red line represents predicted, and the blue line represents actual. And as you can see in this graph, the actual height is really high in the months of November and October, and not so high in May, June, and July. Next, the next article is about adaptation of honeybees, and this is from a beekeeper, and he states that honeybees are more adaptive in the summer, meaning that they will survive better overall, increasing population growth. Now, this is a map of Pennsylvania, and each dots represent a population of bees. And Pennsylvania is a quite urban state and is very industrialized, meaning that honeybees have to adapt to its environment in Pennsylvania in order to survive and reproduce. And you can see in this map that honeybees are quite literally everywhere in the state, meaning that they have no issue reproducing in the state. And this map was taken was this data was recorded over the months of summer. Next, we'll be talking about agricultural life. Now, usually plants have growing seasons, which primarily is in the summer. And if you have good growing season, plants are abundant and you have a variety of crops. In this figure, you can see that 55% of honeybees prefer soy, corn, wheat, and oats. And these crops are primarily grown in the summer, meaning that with this abundance of resources, honeybees are able to reproduce, thus increasing its population due to summer weather. Now, lastly, the last article is about temperature. And just like humans, we prefer a just right temperature, and honeybees have a better chance of survival in the summer due to resources and to the temperature. But during the winter, honeybees do not have that kind of resource. As you can see in these graph, you can see the black line represents honeybees and the blue line represents temperature. And as you can see, it is pretty much correlated. As temperature increase, population of honeybees increase, and as temperatures decrease, the population of honeybees also decrease, thus proving that warmer weathers help increase the population growth of honeybees. This brings us to our conclusion and results. I can confidently say that honeybees population growth is the greatest in the summer because survival is the best, less pathogens and diseases, adaptation is best, agriculture is abundant, and perfect temperature. Overall, honeybee lives the longest and best during summer weathers, meaning that their survival rate is higher. Since more honeybees are alive during the summer, population growth is also higher in the summer. Summer weather has a direct correlation to honeybees population growth. And why is this significant? It's significant because honeybee contributes to a factor of humans' everyday foods. $20 billion in pollination service are contributed to honeybees. Honey product generates economic value, and honeybees are keystone species, meaning they are quite valuable. Here are my references. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Oh, and don't forget to like and subscribe.